I don't know about you, but I think we should get some kind of special discount when we go through the self-checkout line. Don't you? Huh? It's like we work for the store for a little while. Oh, I know I sound cheap. I hope you're not cheap. Are you cheap? I have Scottish ancestors who were so cheap they wouldn't even tip their hats. In fact, legend has it that they married skinny girls so they could buy smaller rings. They used to haggle at thrift stores and ask for doggy bags at all-you-can-eat buffets. My dad was so cheap that he would climb into tightly packed subway cars to press his clothing. Here are a few things we Callaways recycled. Chewing gum, tea bags, candle wax, cherry pits, chicken bones, lawn clippings, and the unpopped kernels of popcorn at the bottom of the bowl. I mean, nothing was wasted. You can still get perfectly good popcorn out of that. As the youngest of 5, the clothing I wore belonged to 4 other children and maybe an uncle or 2 by the time it got to me. I see kids wearing these expensive pre-ripped pants now and I think, that's all I had. I could have made a fortune. When you grew up like I did, it's mystifying to see wealthy people live poorly. Take Hetty Green, for instance. At 31, she inherited $7 million and watched it multiply. How? Well, the New York Stock Exchange sure helped. And she bought mortgages. Many were on churches. If they couldn't make payments, Hetty Green foreclosed on them, and the fortune rolled in. Yet with all her money, she lived in cheap apartments with no hot water. When she married, she insisted on spending only her husband's money. Wow. Her son lost his leg in a sledding accident because she wouldn't pay for a doctor. At work, she ate dry oatmeal heated in a co-worker's office. Nicknamed Hetty the Hoarder and the Witch of Wall Street, she was irritable and smelly. Hetty's out-of-style dresses were ragged and filthy. Co-workers kept their distance. Shop owners cringed at her arrival. For 20 years, she lived in pain before finally seeing a doctor. Outraged at his $150 operation fee, she said, "You're all alike, you're a bunch of robbers." Hetty Green died in 1916, worth billions of dollars in today's currency. With access to endless resources, she lived her life in poverty. Now, as crazy as all that sounds, I think that I'm guilty too of living poor when I could be living rich. The book of Ephesians shows me how. Here's a challenge for you. Invest 15 minutes in reading the book of Ephesians. You're going to find out how rich you are in Jesus and what you can do with that wealth. My book, Making Life Rich Without Any Money, uses Ephesians as a guide. All of our credit cards come with limits. But there are no limits on the extravagant riches of God's grace in Jesus, and the bank is open 24/7. Have you ever wondered who you are, what you have, and how to live life to the full? In Ephesians, we discover this. We discover that we are adopted by God, chosen by Him, united with other believers, saved by grace, free of the penalties stacked up against us by our sin. No longer are we strangers, but insiders, gifted by God, servant partners with Jesus in the work that He does, fully alive in Him, heirs to a great fortune. The book invites us to a rich life filled with joy amid challenges and pain. We are to run on the track God laid out for us, loving others as Christ loved us, living with generosity and hope. Those who knew Hetty Green knew her as the poorest rich person alive. When she died, she left half her money to her only son, Ned, who bought a private island and built mansions and the largest yacht ever constructed to that point. But he was too seasick to ever use it. His sister Sylvia received the rest of the inheritance, and what did his sister do with the money of a woman who couldn't stand to give anything away? You read Proverbs 28:8 and you'll know. It says this: income from charging high interest rates will end up in the pocket of someone who is kind to the poor. Talk about the ultimate irony. When Sylvia died in 1951, she left the fortune entirely to charity. My friend, go ahead and live rich today. Maybe you're wondering how long I've been in this white room. They won't let me out till you push that subscribe button.